Hey, Josh.
Hey, Andrew.
Tell me if you've heard this one before. You're leaking revenue and you don't even know it.
I think I saw that in my inbox this morning. How about this one? Everyone's talking about ad spend. Nobody's talking about post-purchase. Unfortunately,
Oh, man. That's a one-star one for sure. Right.
that's no good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Josh, how about this one? The number one mistake killing your LTV and how to fix it in 10 minutes.
Ooh, 10 minutes? I don't think I have time. 5 minutes would be better. If you could fix my entire business in your 5-minute video, that would be great. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Okay, how about this? Comment flow, and I'll send you our exact Klaviyo framework.
FLOW. Give me that
Send.
one right now. Hey, Josh, on the same vein, how about this one? Steal our exact SOP. Link in the bio.
Well, sign me up. All right, this one's for you. Founders, stop guessing. Start scaling. Wow. Good.
Oh, man. All right. Josh, how about this one? We audited 100 Shopify stores. 94 were making the same mistake.
Oh my gosh. Are they eating breakfast or something? Like,
I think 94 of them had like a logo in the upper right-hand corner instead of the left-hand corner.
oh, actually, I think their logos might have just been like 2 millimeters off, Whereas
Oh, yeah,
we're,
yeah.
we're gonna need to send that to design and wait 4 to 6 weeks for a redesign.
Or
But
they, or their, we got to go talk to their CRO person to make sure that the shade of yellow and gold is just right for the star. Yeah.
how about this one? This flavor is like my personal favorite. If you're not doing this in 2026, you're already behind. AI isn't giving you a foot massage while running your finances. You're already behind. And man, it's like, come on, I'll just get real.
This is actually maybe my favorite annoying one, which is everybody wants more traffic. Almost nobody fixes what happens next.
Wait, what happened next? I need to know. Need to know. What happened next?
Well, I can't tell you. This is total clickbait, right? Like then I'm gonna talk for like, I don't know, 5 minutes before I get to the point. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me a story about your childhood.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You gotta lead with personal experience, right?
Absolutely. I kind of want to do brand of the week now. Zen Basil. Zen Basil is my brand of the week. I started buying Zen Basil about a month or so ago, maybe like a month and a half ago. And I've been taking it every single day. I had it with me at .dev, saved my life a few times. It is just like super high fiber. You just put it in water and you drink it, or you can put it in if you can get more fancy with it if you want. But 2 tablespoons, 56% of your daily fiber needs. It's also got a lot of good micronutrients in there. So omega 3s. It's basically some mornings I woke up in Toronto and felt like I could not go on. And then I had my basil seed. Still felt like I could not go on, but at least, I could. I managed to go on anyway. So shout out to Zen Basil. That's my brand of the week.
Nice. Yeah, you were telling me about that in Toronto, and that sounds interesting. It's just the basil seeds in water. Is that what you're doing?
That's why I do it. Yeah, and I think that you could certainly do probably like something similar to like a chia seed pudding or something if you wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
I like to keep it simple. I usually start
Yeah.
my morning with it. I just pour some water, a couple tablespoons. Actually, usually just 1 tablespoon at a time. 1 tablespoon of basil seeds in there. Let it sit for like 10 minutes and then drink it.
Okay. And what are they called
Like
again?
Zen Basil.
All right, Zen Basil. Everyone, just so you know, we're not sponsored by them.
No,
Really a big fan. So
that's just
they should sponsor us.
they should. It's funny, my sister, was the one who recommended Zen Basil to me, and I tried it, and I really think it's funny, what she calls the water, the, like, basil seed water, she calls it frog water. It's like little frog eggs where they kind of expand.
Oh man, I was just talking to our friend Lene the other day, and you know what she calls frog water?
What?
It's a dirty martini with like maybe too many olives in it. Is frog water?
That sounds really good, though. I could go for a pickle martini
Me?
from, Pickle Room, yeah. I
Yeah.
do miss Pickle Room and their Reuben egg roll, and egg rolls for the win there.
All right. Maybe in October if we end up going to Jungle together. Going to see Jungle.
Yeah, that would be sweet. I would love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Josh, what's your shopping experience of the week? Anything lately?
I haven't really done a, like, grocery shopping count. No, actually, I do need to do some shopping, though, and one brand that's been catching my eye because I need some new pants, is a brand called Cove. I've been getting some ads for them, and they came up when I was, like, kinda looking around for some new brand to try out for some new jeans and new pants and stuff, so
Mm.
Cove caught my attention. I used to buy jeans from a company called The Perfect Jean. They're based out of New York City. They make jeans with this like kind of they have like kind of a stretch to them, so like you can really get your full range of motion. Cove is kind of similar, so I might give them a try. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I have an experience here, two different experiences that I'm kind of like shopping around for right now. But one, I keep buying more stuff from Peak Design. I just like really love their gear, and they have a new like L bracket for cameras that I'm looking at here. But I went to go, I was like, oh, well, how much is this costing? And like, can I buy it right now? And it's like a Kickstarter. Are Kickstarters really still a thing? Like
Oh
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
don't even pay attention.
They're totally a thing. Yeah.
It seems weird to me that, like, a very established brand is doing, like, a Kickstarter campaign still. Is that I should talk we should talk to somebody who's, like, working on strategies and stuff like that, but, it does seem weird to me. I'm like, "Dude, just make it, man. You know people are gonna want it already, Do a pre-order and make the damn thing."
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess it's like
Not really a Kickstarter.
kinda like a
It's one thing if
pre-order.
you're a startup, but, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's kinda like a pre-order strategy, I
It
guess,
is. It's exactly what it is? So
And
just run
also
a pre-order.
you know what it might be too though, is it might just be a way to, like, broaden your reach in a way, you know what I mean? It might be easier to, like, get people whose eyes wouldn't be on it otherwise, if you're using a platform like Kickstarter or, like, Indiegogo or any of those.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
for example, I found a Kickstarter a couple months ago, like 6 months ago, I guess, at this point. By the way, the year is flying by. Did you know it's August?
I'm actually really mad about that. I'm really, really pissed off about that. So,
But
although the nice thing about August, actually this week in August is the first week of it's the first weekend in August. First weekend in August in Santa Barbara is Fiesta, which is a week-long celebration of kind of the founding of Fiesta. It's really about the community, the current community, and then like the also the indigenous cultures that were here before as well. So I think it's a really fun week. The whole city is basically shut down starting Wednesday, and we have a week-long party that covers the entire city all the way through Sunday. So it's one of my favorite times of year. And then we also have the largest horse parade west of the Mississippi, right along the ocean. So I'll throw a couple of posts on LinkedIn or something like that.
Fiesta is so much fun. It is the best. Wait, what's the largest horse per what did you call it? Horse parade?
Yeah, it's the largest that when they get all those horses going down.
What's the largest horse parade east of the Mississippi? You're very specific there. Is there a bigger one in
Yeah, there's probably a bigger one. I don't know. It's probably like the Kentucky. There's probably a parade with the Kentucky Derby or something like that. I don't know.
yeah.
So I don't know. I actually never looked that part up. I only know the stat with regards to Santa Barbara.
West of the Mississippi is also a fun thing to say.
Yeah, totally. I think one of these years I'm on the board of directors for the historical trust. So one of these years, I think I'll put together I'll do some fundraising for a prize for like the best. I'm sure they have a prize of some sort for the best like float or something for the best like horse parade group or something like that. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I am jealous. I will not be at Fiesta this year, but one of the maybe next summer I'll make it a point to be there again. I haven't been there since like 2020, 2019.
Yeah, it's a fun time. It's a fun time.
Mhm.
But yeah, the peak design thing, we talked about the Kickstarter thing. Oh, you know what I'm kind of shopping around for right now? I'm shopping around for like an espresso machine.
Mm.
I decided, I've been using the AeroPress a lot. I use it a lot all the time, and I want a just lower effort way to do it. Not that the AeroPress is that much effort, but there was just like some additional cleanup that sometimes I just want to press a button and do it. And two recent things happened where I was at a hotel room and, I used the little like espresso K cup thing. Like we all know what that experience is like. But what I haven't done in a while was use an actual espresso machine. So I was at I like my cousin's house and I used her espresso machine and I said, wait a minute, an espresso machine and an espresso or a K cup thing is basically the same thing because I didn't want to create all this plastic waste. I was like, you know what? I'll just get an espresso machine and I could just like empty the grounds out and then put more grounds in it and tamp it down and then you plug it in and press a button. It's the same thing as an espresso or whatever. So I'm in the market for an espresso machine and I'm looking at like these machines and stuff. I'm a coffee nerd and I can't quite decide if I want to spend $180 on an espresso machine or $4,000.
I was gonna say, 'cause it can really go either way. Have you looked at the stovetop ones? I've heard that there's stovetop ones you can get.
Oh, the stovetop ones that like the Italian ones that like go
Yeah.
on. Yeah, I forget what those are called. It starts with a B. I forgot what it was. I've used those before. Still too much cleanup for me. I like the whole point of distribution
Yeah.
for me is like to be as simple as possible.
That makes
And so,
sense.
yeah, so I think while I'm shopping around for these things, I'm looking on the La Marzocco site or La Marzocco site or whatever, and their machines start at like $1,500 or something like that, and go up for to like 7,000 or plus or for the home machines. Definitely more counter space than I want to use, but I'm like, maybe I should buy it. And then I'm also looking at DeLonghi, and they have machines that range from around $180 to like $2,000 or so, or like $1,500. And I'm like, how much machine do I want? And what's missing on some of these sites here is if you got a range of products like that that has very specific features, or they get somewhat technical because espresso machines can be very technical. You got to have those compare. You got to have that compare functionality where you can say, all right, these products I'm interested in, and bring it up in a table so that I can compare between the 3 products or those 2 products, in a head to head. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. It's kinda like when you're shopping for a computer or something, you wanna see all the specs, you know? Yeah, that makes sense. Somebody's gotta solve this problem for Andrew. Who's gonna do it? Somebody solve this problem, reach out to us.
yeah, yeah, if you do it right, yeah, I'm willing to spend $4,000 on an espresso machine, so
You know his budget, it's cleared.
so or I might spend $200. I don't know yet. I still don't know.
Up to 4,000.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, let's see, what else? Josh, you wanna play a game?
Depends on the game.
Would you
What
rather?
Okay, let's try it.
Let's see, would you rather, this is the real life edition of would you rather, and we're gonna say, all right, would you rather never return anything again, or every return has to be done in person at a mall food court?
That's a tough one. I'm leaning towards never return anything again. Well, actually, no, there's actually a mall that's not too far from my house. So maybe do the mall thing. Yeah. Because
Mhm.
I was thinking about the distance, like, to the mall is the main issue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, mind going to a food court. I'll get some Chick-fil-A, make a day out of it, you know? Make
Uh,
an afternoon out of it. How about you?
yeah, I don't return a lot of things, but
Right.
the times that do you return a lot of stuff?
No.
Yeah, I don't return a lot of stuff either, but the times I do return things, like, I really specifically want to do the return. I would say, yeah, I'd do it at a mall food court. What's wrong with that? You know? I get, like, a hot dog on a stick.
Cinnabon.
Yeah, Cinnabon or whatever, an Annie's pretzel,
Mhm.
or, specifically at the mall food court here in Santa Barbara, like, McConnell's ice cream is right across the street. I get a poke bowl, whatever. This is, like, really, really good food. So, yeah, definitely that.
Yeah, I got one for you. All right.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Would you rather your website loads in zero point 0.2 seconds, but it's entirely in Comic Sans, or it's beautiful, perfect, flawless, elegant, wonderful, but it takes 45 seconds to load?
Ooh, oh, that's an easy one. Comic Sans all the way.
I agree. I'm with you on that, actually. I was
Yeah,
thinking about it. Yeah. You can lean into it. You can make it fun.
yeah.
Speed is more important than being perfect.
Yeah, yeah, and there's so many yeah, there are so many research articles over the years, from Google, from really big sites and stuff that show that even every like 200 or 300 milliseconds makes a difference, and certainly every second makes a difference in your overall visits and conversion rate. And it's something like, visitors will wait up to like between 5 and 9 seconds or something, which is a
Mhm.
long time for your page to load. And if it doesn't load within that time, they're gone. So if the number here is 45 seconds, somebody will never see how beautiful your site is or anything. I don't care how many tokens you used on Fable to get that thing generated. Ain't nobody gonna see that damn thing.
You're 100% right, but what if I update this, okay? Comic Sans loads in zero point 0.2 seconds, or Beautiful loads in 4.5 seconds. That's a little tougher, huh?
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's a little tougher. At that point, 4.5 seconds is kind of generally around what most modern sites are doing these days, especially if they're doing one of the more, like, heavyweight frameworks. So, that I'd take 4.5 seconds. I'd be okay with that.
What if it's like every single link you click on the website takes 4.5 seconds? You'd still say yes? if you or
That's dropping off for sure. That's gonna be death by a thousand paper cuts.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because I think 0.2 seconds, like, yeah, maybe it looks like Comic Sans, maybe it looks kind of like terrible, but you can lean into it. People, like you can lean into it and you can make it kind of fun,
Mhm.
and it'll look like, I don't know, like a MySpace page, things like that you would sell. What would you sell on a site that is entirely in Comic Sans?
I would sell ceramic figurine dolls.
Okay, that's awfully specific. Okay, ceramic figure,
Yeah, ceramic figurine dolls, plastic ukuleles, maybe mittens for dogs.
dog mittens.
Yes.
Take my money. From
There you go. There you go. Uh, all right, Josh, here's this one. Every ad you see is perfectly targeted and maybe slightly too accurate, or maybe, or the alternative is it's completely random forever.
Um, I mean, if it was completely random forever, that would mean that my data wasn't very easily accessible to all of the biggest technology giants in the world. So I would probably take that trade to just not have my data be that easily used against me or for me, I guess, depending on your perspective.
Yeah, or for you either. I mean, perfectly targeted means like, everything that you see is something that you want, right?
True, but it also means everything you see might be something that you think you need, but not necessarily. You know what I mean? So,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that one's a hard one for me too, which is just with the balance. I think the balance for me ends up coming out to, well, is that data accessible to anyone else? Right? Could that data be used against me in like potentially like, like a legal trawling fashion of some sort? So where say for example, this is maybe getting a little too dark or something, but say for example, that gets swept up unnecessarily with that's essentially a warrantless search, right? So, but that part aside, if that weren't an issue, I'd take perfectly targeted, because sometimes I'm at like somebody's house or my in-laws' house and I'm watching TV with them and none of that is targeted, right? TV is the classic untargeted or maybe targeted to just that market, right? But they're just spraying and praying. And I just cannot understand how anybody can stand that in this day and age. And I can't understand how growing up, like that was normal. I couldn't do it. So
Yeah, it is kinda weird to think about. Yeah. Even before cable, it was just a bunny ears, just a few channels that everybody was watching, everyone was getting the same ads.
hmm.
Imagine how easy it would have been back then.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I mean, to the extent that ads, kind of became part of the culture, like it was kind of cool. When I would say like, "Oh, the got milk commercials," or do the do," kind of see, or Yo Quiero Taco Bell. To the extent that they became part of like the general culture, that was kind of fun and cool. But most ads aren't. Most ads are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, actually, I can even to this day, I can remember some ads from when I was, like, a kid that I just thought were so fun and weird. Like, Five Gum had some weird fun ads that were really, like, eye-catching. What was another one? Berries and Cream. I think it was a strawberry, it's like a berries and cream. It was a Starburst commercial for those Starburst berries. It was like this little guy just dancing and singing berries and cream. It was disturbing, but it was also really funny, but it was memorable. So, you just don't really see ads like that anymore. It's
Yeah,
all like,
yeah,
"Hey, take our this drug might kill you, but here's some happy people, happy-looking people. You should take this drug because you're probably sick."
yeah,
Uh, that's all ads are anymore, apparently.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Oh man, Josh, do you remember this one? Did you ever see this one where it's like head on, applied directly to the forehead? Did you see that one?
no.
That's all the ad was. I have no idea what it does.
Head on.
I never got anything else where it was like it was literally a 30-second ad that they said that one phrase like 5 times. And that was it. And there was a phone number to call. It must have worked. I have no what were people doing back then, man?
Oh, no. Or, like, radio ads are even better because radio ads, like, really relied on jingles, like O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
JG Wentworth, 77 Cash Now. You're probably hearing the tune right now, right? Yeah. They don't really do that anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
I still hear O'Reilly's, commercials every once in a while when, like, the radio's on for, like, a second. I don't usually listen to the radio, but sometimes I'm, like, already driving and my, like, Bluetooth isn't connected, so I'm like, "Oh, whatever." So I think I
Mhm.
heard an O'Reilly's commercial recently. They really have a great jingle. It's very memorable. You know that I saw a clip of somebody who hired the original singers for the O'Reilly commercial, the jingle, to sing at their wedding.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not kidding. I guarantee you those people lived in either Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Iowa would be my yeah. And they even had the guy who was reading the ad, it's like, "Oh, oh, oh, O'Reilly's."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He had that guy too, who was actually reading.
No way.
It was really funny. I don't
Like,
know
this
what.
guy this couple better have owned, like a series of O'Reilly Auto Parts stores, so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, man. Oh, man, maybe we gotta learn the jingle for the next time, you know?
yeah, maybe we do.
We'll do the instrumental version, Josh,
Sounds good.
alright. Let's get in some of the news of the week here. So Shopify reported their Q2 earnings. Revenue 3.58 billion, up 34%. GMV is at 115 billion, up 32%. Free cash flow margin around 18%. Very, very healthy numbers there. After being beat up on the stock market for, a good solid 5 months there. I think they were up around like $170 US a share. Now they're down at like 120, floating around 100 for a little bit, but I think they're up to closer to 120 now. And so I think a lot of that is part of like the AI apocalypse, continuing Iran tension, Strait of Hormuz stuff, and that really kind of put fear into investors on that.
Mhm.
But I think some of the most interesting thing there is that GMV generally being up, a lot of factors there, but the ultimate factor on some of that is that Shopify is still continuing to acquire big brands, and then also consumers are still continuing to spend online. So that's an interesting part of that. And then some of the other things that they recorded or reported that I thought was interesting was that AI driven traffic and orders to merchant stores have tripled year over year. And it's like it's probably a small number in aggregate, which is why you can triple so much. But that AI driven traffic is definitely growing. Yeah, so that was super interesting there. Something that we're keeping a close watch on and that we're interested in because we have a integration and extension for this is Shopify Sidekick AI tool that allows merchants to kind of pop up on a panel and then ask Shopify questions about their store and get things built. Merchants could use that with our app and get help with their setup, analytics. It can also set up their upsells for them as well. To me, this is a feature of interfaces and what we can expect going forward from the top app companies that are out there. So, but daily, where I'm getting to is that Shopify reported that daily active merchants are of Sidekick are up, 3.6x. So that's triple. The daily sessions for it are up, 4.8%. So,
That is interesting. That
merchants are
is
continuing to use it more and more.
And that makes sense. I talked to a lot of merchants, and most of them talk about it, or at the very least, or no, some of them actually use it on the call when I'm talking to them.
Oh, nice. Oh,
I asked them a question about their store, and they're like, "Oh no, because like,
oh, nice, nice. Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
definitely seeing it on my side too. People are using it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's great. I think people, like when we talk about AI and stuff, there's a lot of doom and gloom about it. And there's a lot of, I think, contention. But overall, for this type of usage here, this is what I think, AI is really, really good at, which is, just help you do your job better, like help surface things that are in the apps that you're already using and help you make use of that better.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. I totally agree. I think that a lot of the, like, panic around AI or the doom and gloom around AI is just misapplication. I
yeah.
think everyone's, like, way too excited about it and kind of frankly, kinda stupid about it. And, like, I will say AI is responsible for some of the worst takes that I have ever seen come forward, ever. For example, I saw that somebody, I don't remember their name, but on the music side of things,
Hmm.
AI music is, like, really, really messing with the music industry and, like, with artists for a lot of reasons. There's a myriad of reasons. But anyway, all that aside, somebody, said that we've had analog AI music for years, for decades. It's called cover bands.
Oh my God.
That's the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my entire life. And, like, when people say, like, they're like, "Oh my god, this is such a good take." And so I'm gonna put it out there because probably because they asked that AI, and AI was like, "Yeah, dude, that's a great take. Absolutely." And I have seen some of the worst takes in my life.
Oh my God. Josh, this reminds me of like the Gen Z memes that are out there where it's like, oh yeah, Gen Z is just like no, I mean, no shade to Gen Z or whatever. Like I just think this generational stuff is really funny. And then also generational like food fights are just they're part of society. That's always been happening. It will always happen. But the funniest ones that I'm seeing right now are the Gen Z memes about like, oh yeah, Gen Z is just like reinventing things that already exist.
Oh my god,
you know, it's like, "Hey,
yeah.
Josh, like, one of these days, we should do, like, an in-person podcast, but no unrecorded, just like an unrecorded in-person podcast," and just sit down, no cameras, no mics, just you and me having a conversation.
Uh-huh. Yep. I saw another one where it was like somebody was like, "Hey, everybody like, is going to these or there's lots of people doing run clubs and going to these run clubs, but not everybody likes to run. So I want to start like a run club where we don't run." So it's like, what are you talking about? Just like getting people together to hang out?
Yeah, you mean, like, meeting for a beer or
Gen Z doesn't really drink though, so they don't they
Oh, yeah.
probably I don't think they're
Okay, like, so do we just meet at a park and, like
meet at a park, maybe go for a walk,
yeah?
maybe play a board game. Yeah, that's actually something that's really interesting. I've noticed a trend in because Gen Z doesn't really drink and millennials kinda do drink a lot. It hit them hitting the like market for of age drinkers, Gen Z people, has just decimated the alcohol industry,
Mhm.
which is really interesting to me. And I wonder if some of the like backlash that if you saw in the news, I guess I do read some news. Texas just not only banned THC products again, but then also is making it like a life sentence to have
Oh. Yeah, they're
THC.
making it like a felony, like, and also like potentially a life sentence for like the amounts that you might be possessed or caught possessing, right?
Yeah. So they're like really going the other way. And I
Mhm.
wonder if that kind of stuff is happening at least in part because of pressure THC has put on the alcohol industry.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But like, I will say that like, all of these types of things are super generational, and THC getting outlawed just is just flat out backwards, it's flat out backwards and not in favor of the people because the people don't want it. And then also it just goes towards unnecessary government overreach on that. So one of the stats that really jumped out at me was in Q2, there were 36,000 custom apps built versus 12,000 custom apps in Q1.
Wow.
All right. Like that hit me, that really jumped out to me as an interesting number there. Almost 100% of this is driven by AI. I'm entirely sure of this. And, I think it's good for merchants that they're able to do more of these custom apps. And I think that it's good that they can kind of get things arranged the way that they want. I think we're going to see a big ebb of these or a big flow in of these, and then it'll die down, it'll ebb away as well as as the smart apps out there start to catch up. All right. And here's where I'm putting my chips on the table here. A lot of these custom apps are going to be the types of apps where somebody thought, or somebody at some brand or whatever thought that it's like, hey, like we're using all these different apps. I could create a custom app using Claude or Codex or something and just like eliminate a couple $1,000s a month worth of spend. And what you're going to see instead is that, and we saw that in Q2, a 3x increase in custom apps built, and merchants are gonna be like, oh, cool, great. And then we could get it customized exactly the way that we want. And then over time, though, the maintenance burden of that is gonna bog that down. And then they're gonna look for a vendor for a lot of these again. We see that in SaaS as well over the years, where there was this whole idea of as far as like software products are concerned and features, you could basically like in 2000, I don't know, 14, you could basically say, hey, like there's this big app that's out there. I'm going to unbundle the app and build just my own app that's just this one feature and then, sell that. And that can be successful. And then things get bundled again and then they get unbundled. It happens all the time. And we're going to see the same thing for AI, where merchants kind of bring things in the house and then they take things out of like back out to a vendor, because ultimately the maintenance burden is what's going to stop you there. And I think that the opportunity out there for apps is to use the capabilities of AI to make your app as customizable as possible for
Mm,
merchants.
yeah.
And we're moving into a world here where, if your app is very rigid, and is not in a place that is super customizable, the app with the more intelligence through customization is going to win. They're going to beat you. And so you've got to be able to do that. And when I say customizable, I mean like customizable in the way that, say, like Excel is customizable, right? Like anybody could just basically use the AI to create all the formulas and stuff that they need to get the calculations that they want. Whatever that equivalent of or for you as in your space is concerned, like it needs to be the same thing. If you're invoicing app, you need to be able like you need to have AI just be able to like move around all the things on the template, to create the exact invoice thing that you want. Right. Nobody's going to have the patience for to go around and click through and drag things around anymore. So really, really stuff like that. And so when I look at this 36,000, I think it's a great thing. I think ultimately that number is going to decrease over time, as some of this wave and the, call it buyer's remorse, call it realities of owning and operating software really comes to show itself. Operating software is not free. It's not free as in beer. It's free as in puppy. Like if I hand you a puppy, it's going to be a lot of work. So,
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And then also we've seen, to your point, you were mentioning this earlier, like on the brand side, folks at brands just like, hey, maybe I can stitch together like an app to save us some money on our app spend. But the real like kicker there, the thing that's gonna, I mean, in some cases that might work, right? It depends on the use case, depends on like what you're trying to like solve for.
mhm,
But the real kicker there isn't building an app that works now. It's building an app that will work forever. What I
mhm.
mean,
Yeah, that
I
continues to
think
work,
that's
but it's
yes.
maintained. Yep.
I think that's the thing that people underestimate because, like, you think like, "Oh, I'll just do a bunch of work now and then it'll be done and then we'll save all this money." It's like, well, yeah, the way you really need to think about it is you're gonna do a bunch of work right now to save some money, and then you're gonna continue to do a moderate amount of work forever, and all those apps still work because Shopify changes stuff all the time. It depends on what your, like, level of understanding is that goes into, like, technology behind the scenes, but sometimes we'll have like literally 24 hours notice, sometimes no notice at all when Shopify just changes something. And then we have to figure out how we adjust on our side to make sure that it doesn't impact our merchants. That
Mhm.
happens all the time. So do you really want to have that added pressure on top of all of your other responsibilities in your role? Probably not, realistically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. Do you wanna be a software company or do you wanna be, a brand that sells like a health and beauty brand or a CPG brand, whatever it is you might be, right?
yeah.
Uh, Interesting stuff. Another interesting thing, in the Shopify landscape these days is, DoorDash is now a official native Shopify sales channel. You see anything about that, Josh?
Yeah, no, I did. I thought it was an interesting play. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I think this is pretty interesting that Shopify, first of all, it's only available in the US. International is planned or coming. And what this means is that US Shopify merchants with physical locations that could already say off do pickup orders, they can now offer like a same day delivery to the same customers, and I think that's pretty cool. The one place that I've used same day delivery, which almost never I don't use it that often, but is just like Home Depot.
Mm,
I buy a lot of Ryobi tools from Home Depot, and it doesn't cost very much to get same day delivery on that. And so, and a lot of times I'm in the middle of something that I'm like, oh, I needed this tool. And so, yeah, I'll get my, I don't know, pressure washing nozzle same day delivered just because I can. And I want to have it done, that day. This is like a very isolated scenario, right? Where like I have the weekend to do this thing and I need to get it done. And so I'm going to buy it now. And so I think it's a really cool play on that. It's a partnership that makes sense to offer that type of same day delivery capacity. Could be the type of thing that is much more interesting for brands that have brick and mortar stores if they're not already on Shopify to get on Shopify for. So it's a really good incentive for that. And far cheaper, I'm sure, to do than say the Shopify fulfillment network, which I believe is no longer around. That was Shopify's kind of, if you want a history lesson here, that was Shopify's competitor to or answer to Fulfilled by Amazon.
mm,
So yeah, that's no longer around. I think they sold off that entire line of business and all those warehouses or relationships or whatever they were to like Flexport, I want to say a couple years ago. So yeah, so that happened. So yeah, Josh, do you use DoorDash often or at all, or do you use any? When was the last time you got something same day shipped to you?
I use DoorDash sometimes. Like if I'm working late and it's 7 o'clock and I really am like, I'm not making dinner. then yeah, sure, I'll use DoorDash. I'll use DoorDash to order some dinner. But I'm not a big like same day delivery on most goods like that. I used to have like an Amazon Prime subscription. I don't anymore. That used to be kind of what I do. And now, I kind of there's an Ace Hardware like 5 minutes down the street from me.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
there's a Walmart 5 minutes down the street from me. It's not a big deal for me to just make a quick trip to go grab stuff. That's just kind of the way I think about it now. Between Ace Hardware and Walmart, I can get most things that I would want, and if I need to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, then that's 10 minutes. So,
Mhm.
I do think though, in general, the trend is moving towards people just wanting things delivered same day. I know that when it was a super easy option for me on like the Prime side, I would get it. I would just anything I needed, I'm getting it delivered to my door. I don't want to think about it. And it was sure it was convenient, but at the end of the day, sometimes life can get too convenient, you know? I don't mind going out and interacting with the real world every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's fine. But I do think in general, from a business perspective, it's a good move. They're gonna get a lot of I think they're gonna get a lot of action on it, and I do think it's gonna be good for brands. So,
Yeah, yeah, especially the brands that really make sense for like a same day delivery sort of product.
mhm,
I don't even do a lot of same day pickup. So yeah, I for me and my own kind of consumer behavior, I have trouble kind of thinking about even the product categories there. But I know that it'll be there for sure. So yeah.
out of curiosity, are you a grocery, in-person shopper or a grocery delivery
Oh, I'm
shopper?
an in person grocery shopper only.
That makes sense. Okay, so I hear you. I, like, don't mind going to the grocery store for I'll go to the grocery store for some things, like fresh produce, etcetera, because it's, like, right down the road. But,
Mhm.
like, I love having the ability to have groceries delivered just for, like, the staples, you know?
Mhm.
Um, the only another person I know who's like, "No, I'm always going to the grocery store. I wanna see what's on sale. I wanna see what's speaking to me in the moment." My buddy Pierre, he is also really just into cooking. He's French. So, you're also into cooking, and so I just think that's a funny I
Yep.
think people who are into cooking, they wanna be in the grocery store. It's part of the
Yeah.
cooking experience, you know?
Yeah, it's part of the experience, it's part of the activities, that's what it is, and also, I love seeing especially when I'm going to one of the more specialty markets, I will love seeing the products, and also, like, what's the stuff that's in season right now? What's looking good, what's new? Also, I go to Trader Joe's a lot, I love Trader Joe's, it's like a mile away from me.
If there was a Trader Joe's a mile away from me, I probably would go to Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's, but
Yeah, and we don't, like, super stock our fridge either, and largely it's so that I can, move, like, brines in and out, if I'm brining something or if I'm dry aging something, happen to be dry aging in there. That's so if my fridge is, like, packed to the gills, then I couldn't do that stuff like that. So we have, like, dedicated shelf space that just stays empty so that we can do stuff like that on a regular basis. And so what that means is that I go to the grocery store a little more often than most people,
yeah, so
so
that makes sense. Generally speaking, like, I'll have stuff delivered that's, like, essential, like eggs and, like, sparkling water, bread. I don't know, just stuff that, like, is pretty consistently needed, every week. We'll just get that delivered, like, once a week. But then when it's like, "Oh, I need some fresh especially produce." You cannot trust grocery delivery for produce, I've learned. Uh
No.
you need to be there in person.
Yeah.
You need to, like, find the right stuff for you, you know? So, usually if it's, like, fresh produce or if it's, like, just spur of the moment, like, "Oh, I need this for something I wanna make," then I'll go to the grocery store and it's right down the road. But the grocery store that's convenient, which is right down the road from us, is also, like, way more expensive, so that's
Mhm.
part of it, kind of balancing, like, get the cheaper stuff delivered, and when I need fresh stuff or I need stuff on the fly, I'll go get it.
Yeah, 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 that makes a lot of sense there.
Mm.
But you get sparkling water delivered? Do you not have a
Mhm.
do you have a Soda Stream machine?
Um, we do, but I need to refill the thing, so lately I've just
Oh,
been
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I would say that is our one most consistent subscription item, are
Mhm.
the CO2 refills from SodaStream, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I should get better about that because the last couple months, I've just kinda let it I've just been like, "Oh, we're out. I'll get to it when I get to it," and then I just keep buying.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, like, I use that thing, like, 4 times a day, so I'm, like, super hydrated, but I'm only super hydrated because there's bubbles in it, you know?
Yeah, bubbles, I don't make the rules, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, bubbles are great.
Yeah, I just like my water spicy, you know? So, yeah.
Hey, Andrew, another thing I saw was TikTok shop wants to run your entire shop for you. Did you see that?
No, no, this is the first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah. So I think some of this information is still unverified, but according to documentation reviewed by Business Insider, TikTok is recruiting US sellers for an August pilot for this. So
Mm-mm.
the way it works is TikTok handles marketing, GMB, max ads, listing optimization, creator recruitment, and content production, including hundreds of AI generated videos.
Wow.
Yeah. So sellers only list products and ship free samples. And then the cost is a $10,000 a month flat fee plus 10 to 20% commission per sale by category. From a fees perspective, 10,000 is not really that crazy for that level of service. 10 to 20% commission, 20% is kind of on the high side. I feel like, for some brands, your margins just might not allow for that level of commission. So
Mhm,
that'd be
mhm,
interesting. Then creators in these campaigns are engaged and paid by TikTok, not the seller. So that's interesting.
mm,
Yeah, and TikTok is not publicly confirmed pricing on this, but it is it's interesting. It kind of seems like TikTok is trying to eat agencies' lunches here. And
mhm.
I don't know if that's a great move long term or not. What do you think?
Yeah, that it definitely feels like this is like an agency play now inside of TikTok, and I that could be ecosystems are they've got to go both ways, and I think that maybe this is eating going to be eating into that a little bit too much. It could create kind of too combative a relationship there. So I don't really loved it, but we'll see how TikTok ends up doing that. I mean, ultimately, TikTok may be able to handle some of these things here, but to me, if you're great at this, you're not gonna work for TikTok for a salary. You're gonna start an agency to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, if you want an easy answer, TikTok will probably like the TikTok agency version of this will probably be the answer to that. But if you want to work with the best, you'll go work with an agency.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually thinking, this could be really good for brands that are just like, "Hey, we know we need to break into TikTok, but it's just too much bandwidth
Mhm.
taken up right now." This could be a quick, easy, like, button way to just hop into the TikTok ecosystem.
Yeah.
But I do imagine that most brands will that are serious and growing on TikTok will eventually move away from this and work with a agency that
Mhm.
is renowned in that space. So I
Mhm.
don't think it's necessarily going you could be right there. I don't think it'll necessarily be taking up a ton of business from or existing business from agencies. I don't think people are gonna be, like, switching from agencies to TikTok. Could be wrong about that. I think this will just be an easy button way for brands, and I talked to a lot of brands who say, "I know we need to get on TikTok, but just haven't got around to it yet. It's too complicated. Don't have the bandwidth." This might just be an easy button way for them to do that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, yeah. I think you've hit the nail on the head on that one.
Like the staples, that was easy button.
Is anybody here old enough to know what that is?
Well, we're talking about old advertisements.
Everybody knows what that is. You should. So, hey, Josh, stop me if you've heard this one before now. If you're not doing TikTok in 2026, you're already behind,
Oh, man.
you know.
Uh,
And if you
that's the
use the
first time.
TikTok agency model, you can stop guessing and start scaling instead.
Oh, man. You know what? You're blowing my mind right now, Andrew. Where
Yeah.
can I, buy your course?
Yeah, link in the bio, but if you comment flow right now, I'll send you
Okay.
I'll DM you the workshop. I'll
Okay, I can't wait for the workshop. I can't wait.
Yeah.
What is it? $2,500 a day, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. $10,000 flat fee up front, $2,500 a day, you
Beautiful.
know? I'll even send you a "that was easy" button for when it's all over,
Perfect.
and this will help you uncover the hidden revenue sitting in your Shopify store right now.
Oh, man. I knew it was hiding somewhere. I didn't know what. It was in the store.
It was
Okay.
in there. It turns out it was in the store. Hey, Josh, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good times, Andrew. Thank you. Talk to you again soon.
Alright, talk to you soon.